and welcome, sir, to Leeds. Ma'am, please go ahead.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. So, on our Parasite series today, we have Commander Manish Tyagi, who is also known as Naughty Commander. So, welcome, sir. Commander
Welcome,
Manish Tyagi has served in the Indian Navy for 23 years and he has worked in corporate before starting his journey as a stand-up comic. He is also known as Naughty Commander. He has done more than 300 solo shows, hosted 100 shows and many more open mics. He has been also facilitated by New Zealand's Prime Minister Mrs. Jacinda Ardern.
So, sir is a true example of डर के आगे जीत है. For me, he is my personal inspiration. He started his stand-up comedy career at the age of 47, leaving behind all his, apprehensions and fears. He's also been a corporate trainer and he's a motivational speaker. He has spoken on platforms like Josh Talks and he has he has done 14 TEDx conclaves. Sir is a model and an actor. He has acted in 2 web series and no?
I see.
I mean, you are, but and he's also featured in 4 television commercials and 1 digital ad. And the BMW ad, you look really chic in it. Thank you so much, sir, for coming onto our platform.
No, thank you so very much. It's a pleasure. Yeah, like I said, like I was sharing with you guys, this is tri-services meeting happening. And I just hope somebody will not start up with a question saying, sir, China border ke baare mein kuch bataiye, because...
No, sir, not at all, So
no, I'm not you. What I'm saying is, so
the people watching, yeah.
So we'll just go with the flow, I guess.
Absolutely.
The way you have a questionnaire, but just sharing this with you. So I put this video, storytelling videos, which I put out saying about SSB and Naval Academy, because a lot of people said, sir. So it's nice. I think 1 lakh views on a story on YouTube is a decent number, which people say 1 lakh is a good number. So there are these guys who, when I say I was a commander in the Indian Navy, so the comments normally people say, sir, please tell us about your days in the army.
I'm
like, dude, and sir, आपने तो बहुत गोली चलाया होगा. मैं कहा एक्सट्रैक्शन मूवी का हीरो मैं ही था, वो बांग्लादेश. Yeah, not every commander is a James Bond. You know what I mean to say? Just that what if you look like one? It's a different story. But yes.
Yeah, so maybe you look like one,
Okay, great. Please, let's
so, sir,
go ahead.
like you have had such a diverse career, Indian Navy, and then you were in corporate, and then Cummins, and then, you started your journey at the age of 47. I mean, how important is being optimistic and, how important is it to have perseverance in your character as a trait for journey, your complete journey in life and for, dealing with all seasons?
So I think, just because we all trainers also. So there was one training, just taking you back a little, one training session which happened way back when I was in service in Secunderabad. So one retired ex-commander was a trainer. He came that day and there were like 30, 40 officers in the room. And the value systems in leadership, which we give 50 words, pick up 5 words, which you can't do without, then pick up that 1 word out of those 5 words. I was the only guy out of those 40 officers who chose the word passion. And there were other, senior officers who were saying hard work, and somebody said dedication, integrity, all that we do. I said no. Because I very strongly felt that if you're passionate about something, then everything else will fall under that purview of that. You will be hardworking also. The perseverance would be there. Like you asked me, you're going to push all boundaries, and everything else falls into it. So I think it is also what happens is, I think, most of the time, there is this, the constant, which I've spoken in my TEDx also, about the constant mindset which we grow up with, which I keep telling in my jokes also, right from the time you're kids, so how many, you are a parent yourself, how many times do you tell yes to your children? I think most of the time it's no. No, we don't tell her, we no, and then followed by koi dekh lega, koi kya kahega, tum kya, So I think our lives, that syndrome is, it's not just my generation. I think it's a syndrome which is, it's just in the DNA somewhere, I think, in things. So so that's what I keep saying all the time also, that one needs to understand what they really want in life and be able to evolve from where you are. And if you are able to understand those points, that this is what is the reason for my thinking like this, I think it helps you. So for me, I feel that a lot of people my age, like they behave like fufajis, which we say, you know. So, so
Absolutely.
I'm like, why kill the child inside you? Let the child,
Yes.
let's keep the child alive inside you. You know, you got to be, and I think it's so much fun to be like that. So I think somewhere deep down, I kept that alive and protected it inside me. And I think that helped me overcome a lot of things, because you know how children are. You have kids. Children, when they fall down, they cry, you give them a toy, they'll go and sit in a corner. And then after a while, they've forgotten the pain. You might still fret over it as a parent, but the child has already forgotten about the pain and everything else. You know, that's how children are. They are
Yes.
more, they tend to, so although it doesn't apply to every aspect of life where you tend to forget things, but it does apply to that aspect that you find something and you get distracted from everything else which is bothering you, and you just kind of chase that light. Like you have seen those cat videos, the cats start changing. You see the cats chasing lasers and all. You
Yes,
start,
yes, yes.
that's how life is. You start
Life is.
chasing something else and you forget what's bothering you. So I think I probably tried to do that, and I still try to do that. Yes.
Right, sir, right. So, sir, I'll take you little towards your past.
Sure.
You had a very personal loss when you were
Sure.
16.
Yeah.
So you lost your father and a sister in an accident.
Yes, I did.
So, sir, how did you deal with the situation? Did you consciously make an effort to move on, or it happened naturally? Both in a time is a big healer. So I just want to
Sure. I get
want
your
you to
point.
bring. Yes,
Yeah, I
sir.
get a question. No, it's like this, like one is that you can never heal from such losses. Okay,
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
so they'll always be there. You'll always miss them in your life. Every say like Rakhi went, so
All of
you
it.
will always remember.
Yes.
These are things which you can't forget. So and then there is, I don't think one can make a very conscious effort to forget, because the more you think about something and you're trying to forget, the more difficult it gets. Like if I take you into, like I was, my mom and my mossy stay with me. So I've been showing them some old movies on Amazon, and they're like, sitting there, ki, purani picture dekhenge to, so, consciously something, nothing. So I think it is, you can't force certain things of, especially in terms of grief, loss, and, dealing with death in a immediate family member. It's not easy, all right? And so for me, what happened was, like, at that point in time, we grew up in a time when there was no Google, there was no internet, there was nobody who was mentoring you. Everybody was trying to tell you only one thing: पढ़ाई करो, IIT चले जाओ, पढ़ाई करो, IIT
कुछ
चले
बन
जाओ.
के लोगों को दिखाओ टाइप्स,
कुछ बन के दिखाओ, तुम्हारे साथ ये हो गया तो अब बन के दिखाओ. अबे मैंने कहा तुम्हारे बच्चे तो बन नहीं पा रहे जो जिनके सब जिंदा है. मतलब हाँ, मतलब कि
ट्रू सर, एब्सोल्युटली.
पिताजी का नाम रोशन करो, माँ का नाम रोशन करो. अरे यार, कोई ना रोशन कर रहा कुछ भी, सब हो जाएगा अपने टाइम से. So it was challenging to, like I said, to get that noise out of my head. It was very difficult, and like I shared in my story, engineering happened by default. I don't know how I got through NIT Jaipur. I have no idea. I have no clue. I would have otherwise had, probably in the normal circumstances, gone to IIT, because most of my friends went there. But I still went to NIT, and I was a misfit there also, because I came, I was, like I shared in my stories, that I was thrown out of the hostel.
Foxy, you were known as Foxy.
Foxy, bahut foxy hai, Bihar Kota se and all that. Oh my God, it was very difficult in the hostels also. But I think what happens, like I shared, like what I said before also, you start chasing something else, to forget certain things. You just start chasing something else, like, like I said, as a cat starts chasing a,
Yes.
whatever laser beam. So that's how I think probably I was able to distract myself from whatever was happening in my life at that point in time. And I had attention from the opposite sex. So
We guess that. So it was a dangerous combination of emotions and hormones, was it?
yeah. Yes.
Right, sir. So, sir, we've seen in today's time the complete perception of success and failure has become very myopic.
Sure.
बहुत limited सा हो गया है, मतलब,
Yeah.
leadership is seen as something very elite, suit boot, गाड़ी, बड़ा office. And tolerance for stress and failure to zero ही हो गया है मेरे हिसाब से. Personal opinion may not be right.
Sure. No.
But it has reduced drastically, And what are your views on this. Like, what do you think are the reasons, and how should people really deal with it? Because I think the overall attribute of, you know, having resilience, dealing with life and just taking it as a journey, कि ठीक है ये season है, next season आएगा, you know, it's all about ups and downs. That is completely stopped. People just see it as extreme end. ये हो गया तो अब हो गया, अब आगे कुछ नहीं है.
I think, I don't know, I think more than the present generation thinking like that, it is the parents who think like that. You know, कि अगर 10th के बाद अच्छे नंबर नहीं आए तो वही वाली बात है, हम किसी को मुंह कैसे दिखाएंगे, तुम्हारा इंजीनियरिंग में नहीं हुआ तो. So like I shared this before also, it is us upon us as parents that we inject these thoughts in the minds of our children right from the time they're kids, and we don't understand. See, I think if anybody needs training in this country is the parents, okay? Because our parenting is completely, you know, hit and trial, okay? Hit and trial. So
hit with belt, chamcha.
yeah, we don't know how to parent, because we don't know how to parent. I was very fortunate that I never got slapped by my parents. Maybe they were amazing parents or I was a good kid, but thankfully it never happened. But the point what I'm trying to say is that, you know, I think the parents today, it's upon us to instill these thoughts in the children that there's nothing like failure. Then secondly, which we always say, that failure is always a yardstick or a, you know, or a milestone towards success in life, because unless you fail, you don't understand the importance of success, and you'll never be able to go back, sit back on the drawing board, evaluate where you went wrong and, you know, maybe correct it. So that's how it is. So the challenge today for us also is, you know, people like you and me and us, is that to accept that the generation today is following a completely different pattern altogether. Have you heard of this thing called as 2 to 5 generation, or a 2 to 5 to 2 generation? Have you heard this line?
No, I haven't, sir, to be honest.
Try finding out. So this is, I was aghast when I heard that. I said, what does that mean? That means that they go to sleep at 5 a.m. and then wake up at
2.
Okay.
So this is like a 5 to 2 generation. I'm like, wow, this is amazing. And they are way up. So for us, you know, and I'm sure all of you, both of you, being in the armed forces, you were told, "Savere utھ ke daud lagao, to sab theek ho jayega." You know, problem, solution to all problems. But today's generation thinks very differently. So I think it is important for us also to understand that the yardsticks have, you know, the yardsticks have changed. The parameters have changed. Let me take you back quickly a little bit into it also from the perspective, like if I talk about my dad, because his, let's say his friends and colleagues, there he was an engineer. All his friends were engineers, most of them doctors, engineers. Their life's agenda was retirement से पहले PF का पैसा निकाल के घर के पास एक मकान बनाना है. And I'm sure you would have seen somewhere people doing it. Like I'm from Muzaffarnagar, तो देहरादून में मकान बनाना है, रुड़की में बनाना है. You know, the post-retirement planning. बच्चों की शादी हो जाए और हम PF का पैसा निकाल के मकान बना लें और हम वहाँ रहना शुरू कर दें. That was that generation. And all the money, they never saved anything because they were spending on the children, and the salaries were not so much, pension nahi hai, ye nahi, jo bhi, whatever. Then comes my generation. Now my generation are the people, my friends who have, you know, fathers who built houses in Delhi or wherever, Bombay, let's say, or Pune, or even Dehradun, whatever it is. For them, the pressure of making a house in that city was not there anymore. All right, for us, and then eventually when we started growing up, we realized that real estate suddenly becomes an investment. You can multiply houses. So people who were very smart, they've really multiplied into one house to another house to the third house. So now my generation, there are people who got 3 apartments or 4 apartments and decent investment here and there. So the next generation, our children don't even have to worry about these things. You know what I mean to say? For them, it's like what they earn, they spend. It's just eating out. I still remember as a kid, we would go out to eat out only on one day when it was my parents' anniversary, and, you know, otherwise, to mummy ghar mein sab kuch banati. Times have changed, eating habits have changed, eating habits have changed, drinking habits have changed, people spend money, the concept of saving is completely changed. And I'm sure there are a lot of kids, I remember, I know, who would say that the father initially, the moment they got into service or wherever, papa ne ek loan dilwa diya, makaan kharidwa diya, plot kharidwa diya, ताकि वो आधे पैसे खर्च ना करे, उड़ाए नहीं. So I think it is,
ये अभी भी होता है, by the way,
है ना. हाँ, FD करवा दी, ये करा दिया, वो करा दिया, कुछ कर दिया, ताकि वो पैसे बच जाए. Which is fine, but I think we also, all of us, need to understand this, that there is a generation. This is what is called the generation gap, as for me. All right, times are changing. We need to also lower our expectation as parents and get into sync with what children. So it is going to be like, it's always going to be like this. So we need to also lower down and come to their level to understand. This is my personal viewpoint. Okay, I may be wrong completely. Some people might not like what I'm saying, but this is my perception. So for the youngsters, what I keep saying when I talk to them and I do my sessions and all is that, look, today's generation has phenomenal amount of distractions. Okay? You Google in one word and you will find a few million, sites opening up, the choices opening up. So if let's say my daughter tomorrow wants to do a course on psychology and she Googles courses in psychology or whatever it is, human sciences or human, whatever it is, there will be 10,000 or maybe even more things which will open up, which we didn't have. So there is there's an information overload which is happening with the children today. Okay. So there's too much of information, which we didn't have at all, of course. So it is very important for them to be able to identify. I keep telling them this thing that you need to identify what you really want to do. Okay, that's important. I think whether even if it's fashion, photography, podcast, stand-up comedy, Formula One racing, flying, entertainment industry, whatever. If they're able to identify that, then start working, strengthening that. And there will be enough. There will be failures at every step. There will be betrayals at every step. There will be losses at every step. But if you're passionate about it and you're good at something, I keep telling them that they will be able to make a mark.
So here I want to bring in one point. You have rightly brought out, follow your passion. Now what's happening is the teenagers, anybody you ask, कि आप what you want to do, what is your passion? So आप हंसोगे अभी सुन के. I want to earn money. That is the passion.
Oh,
so
sure.
It's okay. You can earn money, but passion is not money. What is your passion that you excel and that money will flow?
So I'll interrupt you here quickly because I think.
Or they want to be an influencer, by the way.
Sorry, want to be an influencer. So because they have TikTok, Instagram, everything is in place.
Technology.
No, so the point is, what happens is, where does this mindset come from? I think largely, I'm not trying to blame all parents only, but the mindset also comes from parents कि बड़े होके पैसा कमाओ, बड़े होके पैसा कमाओ, हम तो कमा नहीं पाए, तुम पैसे कमाओ, तुम कमाओ, तुम वो सब करो जो हम नहीं कर पाए जीवन में. You are instilling those thoughts.
I'm sure you must have heard that कि जब खुद के पैसे कमाओगे तब करना है.
तब करना. So teenagers are confused. Like I said, there are too much of noise happening. There's information overload from the internet. There is too much of noise from the parents, and then they have these peer group, or the friend circle who are their own inputs. So there's too much of noise for children today, right? There's too much of things floating around. So again, now the point is, other than the passion, like I said, and you mentioned, when we speak about happiness has multiple pillars, and somebody could be happy just being an organic farmer or something, right?
Yeah.
Somebody could be happy just going and teaching children in the villages. Somebody could be happy. It's a question of identifying what makes you happy. So if only money makes you happy, then you cannot make that drastic change in the society or the social changes where you say everybody from tomorrow will start thinking differently. There'll always be people who will be wanting to make a lot of money, and it could probably be influenced by what they've seen in their lives as a child, or they have been influenced for whatever multiple other reasons. All right. So happiness has different parameters for everybody, and I think it is important for us to be able to ask children as to what makes you happy. I think fine. Other than pizza right now and Coke, it's okay.
Coke, beer.
I think, so it's very important for parents. What I want to end this line on is to try and become friends of your children as soon as possible, so that they can confide in you, they can sit and talk to you, so that you can teach. Otherwise, all children have this one major problem: we can't talk to our parents. And parents have this problem: oh, मेरी तो बात सुनता ही नहीं है, पूरे दिन मोबाइल में लगा रहता है. You've heard that.
And parents also, let me just tell you, like, my parents are there, and then I am a parent to my child. So sometimes, even I as a parent feel that other than shouting or, getting aggressive, I don't know how to say no or handle it. And I have to consciously make an effort, no, this is not the way to do it. I have to do it in an alternate way. And parents get personal on their children. And when that happens, when they grow up, when you're getting personal with a 25-year-old, 30-year-old, then it becomes very ugly. You know, it can
It's
become
too
an ego
late.
clash.
It's
Yeah,
too late.
yeah.
25 is too late to try and mold your child's life.
Yes, so then also there's a way of saying it. I mean, I see a lot of parents talking to their children. They get personal. They start attacking them on their personal
Yeah,
characteristics or
that's
life.
exactly.
It's
Yeah,
just too much, you know.
yeah,
So
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
going to take a question from the audience, sir, right here.
We have an
Uh,
audience. Oh wow,
yeah, we have around 11, 12 people watching us
nice,
live, and
so nice.
yes. So okay, I'll take this question post our question because then it'll go in a flow. So, despite having a settled career, you know, you decided to get out of your comfort zone and get into the field of stand-up comedy, modeling, advertising also. So, and you also have mentioned that, you know, it is an 8-hour investment going and getting 2 to 4 minutes, then it gets bombed. Sometimes, you know, you come back and think, "मैं कर क्या रहा हूँ? Do I really need to do it?" And I just want to know, sir, what was it that kept you motivated, and what were the qualities in you that made you, you know, successful in this journey and pulled you through?
उतना भी सक्सेस नहीं है बट ठीक है हाँ
ठीक
तो
है, I'm attached to it.
That is your humbleness, sir. That is your
no,
That
humbleness.
is your humbleness.
no. So I think what I realized when I started going for open mics was that laughter is actually the best medicine.
Yes, sir.
All right. So if you go and you spend 2 hours, irrespective of the 8 hours investment you have traveling, waiting, and everything else, and not doing well, but so when we started, like I think I finished almost 6 years minus a week now when I got onto stage for the very first time. And at that time in Delhi, let me tell you, the people who used to come to open mics were Zakir Khan, Abhishek Upanyu, Amit Tandon, Jiveshu, Rajneesh Kapoor, Nidhi Palta, Abhijit Ganguly. You name the artists who are doing exceptionally well today across the globe were the people who used to come on stage and spend those 4 5 minutes. All right. So I feel like I was there, like an intern kind of a thing where I would go and just watch them, mesmerize the audience. And but it was amazing. So those 2 hours, which I used to really 1.5 2 hours, the show would go on. It was, I think, an amazing moment for me because it was hugely, when you laugh so much, you overcome a lot of. So when you ask that, going back to the question, how do you overcome your pain and you forget things? This is where the laser was being pointed for me. You just go there, forget everything, and just get just soak into that atmosphere of laughter and laugh and come home. And you realize that there's so much humor which is out there, and people have such amazing stories to tell. I think so. That is what kept me going over there. And I realized that because at some point I was doing this all the time with my friends. When I sit with my friends, I non-stop go on and on and on. So let me share this very funny one-liner with you. Like I was doing this show in Singapore, and there was a Chinese lady online. Now I like, dude, Hindi to samajh mein aata nahi hai. Ab Chinese lady ko kaise to. She was single, and I said, "Why are you single? I mean, why don't you, simple question, find somebody?" So she looks back and she says that I don't have any more space in my closet. So I straight away said that, is it that you have too many skeletons hanging over there? I mean, so it just came out. Although she meant clothes ke liye jagah nahi hai, but I was like instantly, as you got too many skeletons, you can't put one more out there. And she just completely cracked up on that one. So what I'm saying is that I knew that there was something in me which I could do probably, and
Yeah.
I knew that I have to do this, and I can do well in this, and that's all I knew. And that's what. And then it is all about creating opportunities, facing all the resistances, and literally pushing through everything and making space for yourself, and that's how it is. Yeah.
So, sir, there's one question. So, Suman ma'am, would you like to ask a question?
No. Ask
So there's a
audience.
question from Pradeep Dhariwal who says, "Hi sir, do you feel you have reached where you wanted to be, and we have something wanted to be, or have something new, any new calling that your soul is chasing, or you are home?"
Now, of course, yes. Because see, stand-up comedy will continue till it continues. All right. So this is the new normal, and after that, I don't know when it will happen, when we will start having live shows and all that. So we are into. So there are very few guys who are right now, doing online shows because I thought that it's the best way to do it. So the calling which Pradeep is asking me is that it's going on. I've been very, I think procrastinating about it or whatever it is, but I am in the process of writing a book about myself.
Wow.
And yeah, it is done. It's 70% done, but I have not been able to sit down and work on it from the last 6 months, because it's more about my personal life and my daughter and everything else. So it is emotionally very, 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 very draining. So even if I have to do one page, one chapter, it just, knocks me off. So I was able to do it when the pandemic hadn't started, because I was traveling and so much of घर में झाड़ू पोछा नहीं करना पड़ रहा था. I was free from other work.
बालकनी भी नहीं साफ करनी पड़ी थी.
हाँ, तो मुझे वो सब नहीं करना पड़ा था, तो मुझे स्ट्रेस नहीं था. अब बहुत स्ट्रेस हो गया, क्यों मैं झाड़ू पोछा लगाता हूँ, मेरी मॉम को पसंद नहीं आता है. तो but so that I have not been able to, because it's emotionally very, very draining, and I have not been able to move ahead from that point where I was in the last 5 months since the pandemic started. But yes, that book I have to complete. Target was it should have been out by now, but there's a long story to it. But hopefully I should, maybe another 6 months to a year.
Would you like to share the name, sir?
No.
No. Okay.
Not yet. But it's my life, my story. Yeah, story about my life largely.
Right,
yes.
right.
So Abha Trivedi Rao says, I've seen your videos. They are absolutely fab and you're too good. Keep it up. And then there's a question from Anno Domini. Sir Fauji, I'm sure. So,
Sure.
So it says, in your journey from Navy to corporate, there has been a transition of there would be a transition of learning and unlearning. Tell us about how you carried out this transition. So probably they mean that Navy to stand-up comedy is like, opposites.
Yeah. So when I quit, let me slightly take you back a little bit quickly. I'm an engineer, most of you know, by education and profession. I joined the Navy because I didn't want to study anymore, to start with. But you know how Forge is, right? वो जाते ही 2 साल, we had to do something called as Marine Engineering Specialization course. All right, which happened in Lonavala and here and there, other places, like you have Army, Air Force. In fact, incidentally, Samita, I was selected for the Air Force.
SSB, yes.
Yeah.
And
but
then
I didn't join.
1 year later, it got delayed because your graduation was not complete, and then you got taken in Navy.
But I didn't join the Air Force because I didn't like the khaki uniform at that time. Sorry. Honest. Ekdam honest. And this is what I told in the Air Force show, and everybody was like this. Oh, you didn't like a uniform? Who selected this man in SSB? And they were like looking at each other. I'm like, aaj mera show khatam. Yeah, I didn't like it. Yeah, I mean, like, I'm sitting with a medical, wo moti belt and boots and,
वो change होगी.
I know. It's
by the way, हमारी यूनिफॉर्म ना चेंज होती रहती है. उसमें कुछ ना कुछ मॉडिफिकेशन हर साल होता
है. I know. No, that happens everywhere. But I thought white was amazing. Right? And then Bombay postings. And I said, कौन हिंडन के आसपास पोस्टिंग लेगा यार? हिंडन में कौन जाएगा गाजियाबाद में? अब तो time to change. So you know how Forge is. You do well in the basic courses, they say now you will do further study. Shit. They said we will send you to IIT Pune. Now it is DIAT.
DIAT, yeah.
They said you do your advanced marine engineering course, which is equivalent to DAGRE UK and very good for you and for your service. And we'll do a master's from Pune University parallelly. And I'm like, वो 2 साल में पढ़ के पागल हो गया. ठीक है, उस चक्कर में अच्छा, I was always very loud spoken, तो मेरा प्रमोशन नहीं हुआ, जो भी होता है, you know how the steep pyramidal structure. तो फिर मैंने IGNOU से MBA भी किया, because you know how we all Fauji's do some MBA part time, you know. तो जब वो रिटायरमेंट के समय हो रहा था ना कि ये कहीं जाना है, तो मैंने कहा मैं किसी IIM में नहीं जाना चाहता, मुझे Amity यूनिवर्सिटी भेजो, मुझे अच्छी बिल्डिंग देखनी है, अच्छे लोग देखने हैं, मुझे पढ़ाई नहीं करनी है. So I went to Amity University. Can you believe it? I could have gone to MDI wherever. I know I went to Amity University. So there I realized मुझे अब नौकरी 9 to 5 नहीं चाहिए. I want to become a corporate trainer. But at that time, this Cummins thing had come up because they were looking for somebody. So they were giving their marine business segment to their channel partner Sudhir Gensets in Gurgaon, and they were looking for somebody to help them out. So I started working for them as a consultant in Business at India and all that stuff, and then parallelly corporate training started and stand-up started. So I want to say this thing to you guys here is that transition is the biggest challenge for most of us. Whilst when I was in Sudhir, because I used to interact with the armed forces like Navy, Coast Guard, other places. So my card read Commander Manish Kumar Tyagi. After I stopped doing it, now my card just reads Manish K. Tyagi. It does not. So people have said, sir, why don't you write your rank and all that? I said, people should know me by my rank, more than people knowing me, telling I am, Commander Manish K. Tyagi, BTech, MTech, MBA, First Division, FRCS, BCS, which is fine. I'm not even trying to, demean anybody's, thing. But what happens is that the moment you carry all that in your card, you're actually carrying a lot of stuff on your shoulders. And I think it is very important for anybody who's into transition from Forge is to put the chip, just leave it at home. Just leave it at home in your way of talking, in your way of meeting people, in the way you interact with people, the way you. So a lot of people tell me that who didn't know before when I started out, they said we had no idea you were a commander because you don't behave like one. So I'm expected to behave like one. You know what I mean to say? Army would know that. So everybody army ka people think that wo pooch hogi and bal, and you would be like, and wo daru bhi piyega to aise ekdam 90.
Stereotype you too.
So that very stereotypical, which is all right, but I think that is the biggest hindrance in your transition. Second thing which I used to tell people when I was quitting also, I was like, see, if you quit today after 7th pay commission, seventh pay commission gives you a lot of money, and if you add your perks and all, you can't quit today and say I should get 50 lakh CTC to start with because मेरे को फौज में 40 लाख मिल रहा था 50 जो भी whatever, what is your worth outside? Nobody knows your worth. How can you go and claim and say I want 1 CR outside? I'm being very honest about it. So I should tell people that train में फौज में जब हम लोग, see, you guys were fortunate that you flew right from the time you joined the forge as an officer. We were given हम लोग को एक रेलवे वारंट मिलता था जो एक दिन पहले मिलता था, तो हम टॉयलेट के पास बैठ के जाते थे एक दारू की बोतल लेके. These are secrets which you reveal, and that would get us a berth eventually.
Yeah.
टीटी को देके कि टीटी साहब फौजी हैं तो बोला क्या है ओल्ड मॉन्क लाया सर, हाँ ठीक है आ जाओ. तो you know what I mean to say. So my thing to everybody was get a RAC in the train. Put your foot on the door. Once you have a sitting space, you will find space to lie down in the journey. So what I tell people is get a job first. If you're able to get a job which you want to be in, eventually you will find yourself growing, because that is where you will, that's how you prove yourself. All these guys who graduate from IITs and NITs and private colleges, once they join Infosys or whichever company, who cares where you are from? You can't carry the chip. Today, look at Google. Who's the boss of Google? Sundar Pichai. Am I right?
Yeah.
Which college is he from? He's from Manipal, I think, right? I don't know. I mean, my GK is very poor. I said the same thing when I went for the Air Force interview also. My GK bahut kharab hai. But they still took me.
Yeah.
I was honest. So what I'm trying to say is that, so it is eventually, once you step into wherever you step in, you need to leave your baggage behind, and you need to prove yourself to that organization or wherever you are that this is me and this is what my worth is. Private sector, outside, if you are good, trust me, within 1 year, headhunters will find you, people will find you, and they'll take you at whatever price you quote. I hope I've answered this question.
Yes. So there are many audience questions. Okay, I'm sorry, sir. You have got a big time.
I'm okay with it. Go ahead. We have time.
So there are 2 questions from one person. What are the taboo topics? Sorry. So most of the other comedians are younger and can naturally connect with millennial audience. Sure. How do you connect with audience? Because you have mentioned it's important to connect with audience. So at the age of 53, when you addressing millennials, do you do research for any specific trending stuff, or like what is your preparation process?
So it's a tricky thing, but it's tricky to no. So what happens is when I'm doing shows within the corporates, it's perfectly all right. It's when I'm doing ticketed shows, if somebody's bought my ticket and come, they know what I do. I did one show for Assam Engineering College, okay, where there were like thousands of students out there, and we had a rocking 45-minute show. Because there were 2 things which I work on normally, because I interact a lot with people, I roast a lot, and then I do 18 plus. Everybody loves that. You know what I mean to say?
I know. Yeah.
That's what India is watching. That's what is the most sought after video which people are watching on YouTube? Naukarani se pyar or some shit. You know what I mean to say? Who's gonna sit and watch you and me talk? No, they don't want to know. You will get what? Like you said, how many views did you get with Captain America? 4,500.
Yeah, around 5,000, 5K.
Yeah, had you got one Naukarani wala video, some OTT say, you would have had 4.5 million views by now, man. I mean, so what I mean, I know, I understand that point. What I'm trying to say is that, there are. So over 6 years of my experience, and when you start, when you've done, like I said, done 300 solo shows across different countries also and different cities in India, I think it is very important to be able to Once you get there, because I have like 3 hours of content, okay, and I look at it that if this is not working, you quickly do some trials, you know, test, and you know that this is going to work, then you just switch on to that content and just focus on that and go ahead.
So Raj, these questions are by Commander Raja, by the way, sir. You, I think,
Oh
yeah,
yeah, okay.
yeah. So he's asking what are
तो
the
मेरे से
certain...
LinkedIn पे पूछ लेता क्या हो गया? हाँ.
No, I always send him the link of the show, you know. So what are the certain taboo topics for you? And like especially today, things are very people are very intolerant. They take offense. So I was also about to ask you a question of how do you handle trolling and you know, criticism, because at times it can get very personal, you know, and it can really...
they do get personal, yeah.
Yeah. So what are the taboo topics which you don't get into? You know, you just
in stand up, LinkedIn, I get onto a lot of topics which are taboo topics, but but stand up for me, in stand up, religious stuff is absolute no for me. I don't do it. Most of the time I don't do it. So because I feel that why, two things. One is that, you know, let's say Hinduism for that matter, which has become the major issue today, which has been happening with the other stand-up comics. The point is, what I'm trying to say is that most of our mythology and everything is like 10,000, 20,000, whatever number of years old, right? And whenever it was written, in whichever form it was written, it is beautiful. But the whole problem is that it becomes the lowest hanging fruit for anybody today. For any stand-up comedian to go out and make fun of a particular religion is the lowest hanging fruit. To go out and start making fun of the prime minister or any other, you know, it is the lowest hanging fruit, you know. So, you know, then it becomes easier. So I personally look at this way, that I do not really touch religion. I hardly do political stuff. I do one-liner here or there if I write. And I stay clear from these two things completely. All right. So that is my no, absolutely. There's another thing which is important, which I just want to share from a stand-up comics perspective, is that do jokes which are self-deprecating. All right. If I do jokes about somebody who's 50, like I'm 53, and I do jokes about, you know, like, let's share this. Like I was once with a very, you know, dating a young woman, and she said, who says you are 53? You don't look 53. I said, my mom says I'm 53. And then she's like, she didn't know what to say. And at the same time, I straightened my knee and it made some tuck sound. And she's like, what is that? I said, that's knock 54. Yeah, there we are. So you know what I mean to say? So if I do jokes like this, which are for my age, my stature, self-deprecating, it's very important to understand that if I do jokes, let's say I do a joke on somebody who's, you know, obese, or somebody who's, you know, whatever, I don't, you know, whatever word, technically correct word is. Let's say Jiveshu is a great comic. He does a lot of jokes on himself because he's now lost a lot of weight, but earlier he was on a heavier side. And people would love him because he did jokes which were on himself. And people accepted those jokes. I go and do that on a guy sitting in a front row who weighs, let's say, 200 kilos. He's going to say, oh, you are making fun of me. It is not self-deprecating. I do a joke with a guy who's 50-something. People are going to love him. You know, love the joke. You're going to say, oh, yeah, this happens to me also. He's talking about himself. So I think that's important from a stand-up comics perspective, that, you know, you're able to, yeah.
Any questions, Soumita, from audience?
There are, ma'am. I just thought you would want to take one of the questions.
So you take, please.
Okay. So having a sense of humor is one aspect. This is Wing Commander Sumit Sharma. Having a sense of humor is one aspect, since it comes with being original, honest, and a bit of intelligence and a little naughtiness. But when someone suddenly says, okay, make us laugh. And so now suddenly, So now suddenly from going with the flow, you're forced to make people laugh. This second thing is completely different ball game altogether. It needs so much of spontaneity. So my question is, can this be cultivated? And if yes, how?
Time. It has to be there in your DNA. You have to have a funny bone which is already cultivated. So as a stand-up comic, trust me, Wing Commander Sharma, you said?
Yes, Sumit Sharma, yeah.
Sumitji, yeah, Wing Commander Sumit Sharma. So the point is, as a stand-up comic, it is important that you are in a constant habit of doing it.
Yeah.
Okay. When you continue to, it cannot be that all day long you are like this and, you know, sitting with a long face and you're not, you know, cracking jokes on your mom and Mossy and people in your life. And then suddenly there can't be a change. They can't, you know, you can't have a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde wala thing, right? Or whatever it is. So you have to be constantly and continuously at it. So there was this
Right.
question one gentleman asked me in my show. He said, "Why is it that so many stand-up comics are divorced?" I said, "Because they have a sense of humor." And he's like, "Isn't that good? I mean, you know, women should love you." I said, "Yeah, they love you for your sense of humor till they are not your girlfriend or your wife. The moment they become your girlfriend or your wife, they are like, yeah, तुमको पूरे दिन यही काम है, मतलब तुम्हें और कुछ नहीं आता, मजाक ही सूझता रहता है, and you are like in the role. You are like rolling all the time. You know, you find anything funny, you will say it.
Yeah.
Like I'll share this example with you. I was talking to a cousin of mine yesterday. They're very close, and very funny, very funny. She's very funny and much older than me. And we were talking about another cousin in the family, जिसकी बेटी की शादी नहीं हुई. So, like my niece, she's about 38, and you know whatever. You've seen that Indian matchmaking, right? जो अभी वो
Yeah, I know.
very similar story, like you know ये वाला वो वाला पढ़ा
हाँ.
लिखा चाहिए, वो IIT चाहिए, वो चाहिए चाहिए. तो हमारी दीदी बोलती हैं कि लड़की में तो कोई ऐसे कमी नहीं है, बहुत अच्छी लड़की है. तो मैंने कहा क्या माँ में प्रॉब्लम है, मतलब you know instant. And then we laughed our guts out, and मैंने कहा आप भाभी जी को बोल मत देना. बोले अरे नहीं नहीं हम लोग ऐसे तो मजाक घर की बात. You know, so it has to be a habit, you know, and there is a very fine, very thin line between being funny and making fun of people. All right, that is something which comes with practice also, but it comes naturally. There are some people I've seen who just, you know, try to make fun of you. Like today morning, I have this hair. I haven't taken a haircut in like 5 months, all right? And somebody said, "ये क्यों बढ़ा रहे हो?" मैंने कहा, "अगला भीष्म पितामह का रोल मैं ही करने वाला हूँ." हाँ, बोल दिया. तो वो बोला, अरे अच्छा, उनकी समझ में नहीं आया. So I go for a walk at this hour. So there's this gentleman I know who's like, you know, who's balding. Okay? They say, "Oh, त्यागी जी बाल लंबे कर लिए." मैंने कहा, "क्योंकि तुम नहीं कर पा रहे हो." So now he didn't know how to get back to me. Like,
Yeah, wait.
क्यों मजाक? अरे ये इंडिया में बहुत होता है ना, बाल लंबे कर लिए. ओ आज तो तुम साड़ी में घूम रही हो. ओ आज तुम अरे हम लोग को टोकना सबको है.
True.
लगे से ना कि टिकटॉक बैन हो गया, लेकिन रोक टोक बैन नहीं हुआ इंडिया में. मतलब हम उसको टोको. So I think Wing Commander Sharma, what happens is that it takes time, and if it is there in you, the funny bone is like if that app is installed in you, then you are there. If it is not installed, any upgrade थोड़ा मुश्किल है.
I know. So then another question, Nitish asks, what is your take on freedom of speech in an emotional society like ours? Do you deliberately steer clear of certain sentimental topics?
Yeah, so I
think,
get
yeah,
that question.
yeah, you answered.
No, but it happens at times. I still remember doing the show in Canvas Laugh Club, and I was hosting the show, and there was a group of people, and I was roasting away to glory. So when I finished my bit and I was calling the final act, one gentleman said, "Can I give you a feedback?" मैंने कहा, "शो के बीच में दोगे, मतलब बाद में दे देना यार."
Yeah.
लोग पैसे देके बैठे हुए, तुम अभी फीडबैक देना. नहीं, I want to give one feedback. तो he said, मुझे मैं ऑफेंड हो गया. मैंने कहा, किस बात पे ऑफेंड हो गए? तो कहता है कि सर आपने बनियों पे जोक किया तो मैं ऑफेंड हो गया. So I said, first of all, I want to apologize in front of 100 people right now. Sorry about it. But you will have to also tell me one thing, that why were you laughing when I was making jokes on Punjabis?
Yeah.
वो आप जवाब दे दो तो मैं मान जाऊंगा आपकी बात. तो he was like, so he said नहीं. तो फिर भी वो रहा. मैंने कहा अच्छा अब आप स्टेज पे आ जाओ, 1 मिनट. उनको स्टेज पे बुला लिया. उसके बाद मैंने बोला, अब जब तक आप हंसोगे नहीं, मैं त्यागियों के जोक सुनाता रहूंगा. मैं अब बोलोगे आपको बुरा लग रहा है, मैं अपने बारे में बात कर रहा हूँ. हमारे त्यागी में ऐसे होता है, मेरी दादी का जूड़ी ऐसे जैसे लगता है चुड़िया बैठी है, मतलब कुछ भी बोला, आप बताओ क्या कहना है. तो देन फाइनली, सो there will always be people who will get offended on certain topics, but then there is, like I said, religion, politics. There's certain things on which you can offend. It's a question of what percentage of people are you offending. If you're offending 90% of the people by your content, then don't do it. You know, if there'll always be 10% or 5% people who will not like your show and get offended. It's okay. I mean, you know what I mean to say? Not everybody is Salman's fan, not everybody is Shah Rukh's fan. So, किसके कुत्ते को घुमाने चले जाने का टाइम हो गया यार? अच्छा, स्वामी
ये मेरा ग्रेट डेन है जो वेट कर रहा है.
I can understand. Yeah, I can.
For his dog. No. I mean, I don't take him for a walk, but yeah, he's just generally loud.
No, I know, it's okay. Fair enough. So I hope I've answered that question for Nitish.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Ma'am.
Okay. Sir, you at the age where people say I have achieved a lot and are well known, yet you remain humble and strive for constant growth. So what do you do to ensure your constant growth?
So if
and I just want to add to this question, because then we'll ask another question, and then also sir, you are like so engaged with people all the time on social media, on now you have adapted very well onto online comedy shows, and you're doing them like very regularly internationally and everything.
अभी है 2 शो हैं इसके बाद.
I know, sir. So, sir, digital noise हो जाता है एक टाइम के बाद ना, you get tired. So what do you do to like get that solitude and that relaxation and to just switch off from all of this? Like that's also a process which is important.
Yeah, I mean, single malt.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you just end of the day, just when you sleep, you just switch off, and when you get up in the morning, you start thinking of what joke do I make today? Because घर में बैठे बैठे कितने joke बनाओगे मम्मी पे यार? So you start figuring out आज क्या करना है. So like I put this joke, I don't know if you saw that. I said मम्मी Chinese खाएंगे, she said नहीं मेरे को पसंद नहीं है.
I know.
हाथ की सिवाई तोड़ के नमकीन सिवाई बना दी. मैंने कहा ये क्या है? बोले तेरा Chinese है. So you start, so it's like, I think what happens with me most of the time is I probably reboot myself when I get up in the morning, and like when you get up, whatever time, just reboot your system, restart, and then you are back to where you were. I think I need to still evolve in that, but I try to do that. Yeah.
And like so
your constant growth, sir, we asked like.
So if you had asked me this question in a comedy show, then you would have been roasted for that question because I would have taken it otherwise. You don't ask a 53-year-old guy about growth because he's
sorry.
No, sir, I'm asking otherwise.
He's only growing old and that's it.
No, but you are adapting so well. You've come down with podcasts. Now you're writing a book, you told us. I've heard a couple of your podcasts also. And then you started your online shows very early. It's been a month, I believe, sir, and doing it internationally. And I've attended 3-4 of them. So sir, matlab, it takes, you are a 53-year-old, you say so, but not by spirit. I mean, it takes a lot of effort to keep adapting and keep thinking about ideas.
But I'll go back to the same thing, analogy which gave was about a cat and the laser light.
Yeah.
You just keep getting distracted from everything else in life and just forget everything and just follow that particular thing, which is so that's what, when you talk about growth and all, I don't know what growth is all about in the sense of because there are times when you look back and you say you feel very stagnated because it's not easy. Like we discussed also that stand-up comedy is something which is for the youth and by the youth for the youth most of the time. And the major following is over there. So the other thing which is very important, which all our lives has happened to us, is to take that thing out of our system about comparing yourself with other people. All your life, your parents have compared you with other people. My mom still compares me with other people. So you just, idhar se suno, nikal do. So I think it is very important to be able to just do what you like and follow that particular passion. I think if one does that sincerely, the growth is automatic. It may not necessarily be as elliptical a graph like like this, but even if it's slowly moving ahead, I think it's good enough. I think it's fair enough.
Thank you so much, sir. What would be your parting advice for the youth? Don't roast us for this. But people need to know.
No,
you are a role model for me.
I don't give any advices. Don't take any advice from anybody. That's my parting advice. Don't take any advice. No, I don't want to give any advice. I think just don't get distracted with too much of noise which is out there, people talking about different things. Just probably be able to, if you're able to, find out what you want to do as early as possible in life, I think then you will be able to channelize your efforts in that direction and just follow it with as much or more sincerity.
Thank you so much, sir, for joining us and giving us these insights and sharing so much with us. I mean, we are really thankful for supporting us on our journey, which we have started. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Suman. Thank you, Samantha. God bless you guys. And thank you very much. God bless you.
Thank you, sir.
Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir.
Right, sir.
Jai Hind.
Jai Hind, sir.
Bye-bye.
Good day,
Bye.
Bye-bye.